Hey there guys, Portalmaster here, and I am back with another episode of Ask Portalmaster. Today we are going to be answering the questions that you guys asked in last month's episode of the series, and officially, if you haven't guessed it by the fact that I am making a video this month, I have decided to make Ask Portalmaster a monthly thing. I think this is what you guys want, it's what I want, and it lets me answer more of your questions. So with that in mind, let's get into it. ScareTrap asks our first question of the day. If it was announced that Skylanders was getting a big budget movie and the studio came to you for advice on it, who would you recommend to direct the film and what Skylander would you want to voice in it? Additionally, Zach Shadowkill asks, could you make a video or a group of videos about how you would have written Skylanders Academy, or more specifically the things you could have improved? So maybe someday I'll do a type of like Skylanders Academy rewritten thing, but I'll go ahead and answer ScareTrap's video mainly. The person I'd probably want to do to direct the movie would be Joss Whedon. He's the person who directed the original Avengers movie, if you didn't know that. Honestly, the man is an amazing filmmaker, and I would love to see what he could do with a kids franchise like Skylanders. I know that he's not really, I don't think it's that genre of stuff, you know, but I'd be interested in seeing what he could do. I don't think he'd do a bad job, to say the least. As for who to voice characters, I mean, obviously it would be me. I want to be the main character. In all honesty, I really don't have very many picks for voice actors, and honestly, I think a lot of the voice actors from the original game represented the characters well. So I really would think that I would want the voice actors from the games to voice everything. RM Design asks, do you buy Skylanders from eBay? Yes, I do buy Skylanders from eBay. That's pretty much the only way that I can buy them these days. You just gotta look around for good deals and see if you can get anything. The only ones I bought recently are these two over here, which are a couple of mini packs. Beyond that, I've actually been saving a lot of my money up for a PS5 whenever I can actually get my hands on it, as well as investing a lot of the money back into the channel. So I haven't really bought a lot of Skylanders for myself recently, but when I do, I buy them from eBay. Croxton says, do you support the idea of a sort of Skylanders Economy? For example, 1 Spyro is equal to £1 and Wildstorm equals 100 Spyros. It would sort of uniform the entire pricing system and make it harder to get scammed. Do you have any thoughts? So I looked up the GDP of the US economy, and it says that it's about $22.32 trillion. So if we follow that, if I have 223 billion Wildstorms, I can buy the entire United States. In all honesty, a uniform pricing system for Skylanders is really never going to work when you have so many different sellers on eBay. They're not going to adhere to the pricing scheme, as much as I hate to break it to you. It'd be great if this was a thing, and something that is a long-term project that I would like to do someday is create an accurate collector's guide for Skylanders and actually try to figure out how much every Skylander is worth so that collectors could try to appraise their collection. I think that'd be a really cool tool to develop, but for, as you know, nothing's on the works for that, but it is something I'd like to do in the future. Christopher McLeod asks a question about the channel rather than the games, but I'll still answer it here. When you get your Elgato, are you going to show playing through the game, or are you just going to do a lock? So here is the plan for content creation with the Elgato. Yesterday, actually, I sat down and recorded the first 3 episodes of my Let's Play series. The main series that I am doing on my channel, I haven't totally figured out the name yet, but I think it's going to be called like Revisiting the Skylands or something like that. We'll be playing from the very first level in Skylanders Spyro's Adventure to the very last level in Skylanders Imaginators. That is the plan for that series, and that will be airing hopefully every single Wednesday for the foreseeable future on the channel. It'll take me quite some time to work through all the games, so expect that for quite some time. The other thing that I am planning on doing though is streaming challenges on Twitch. I would like to try to stream more creative content on Twitch or YouTube. I'm not 100% set on where I'm going to be streaming it yet, but that is the type of content I'd rather do for streaming, since I think it's a little bit more creative, a little bit more inventive and unique, and I think it's better for watching live, if you ask me. So that's the general plan for now, but it is subject to change. The Hunted Warhawk asks, what is your favorite Skylander out of all of them? It's Nightlight. Next question. Sebastian Rivera asks another question about the channel, or more so makes a statement about the channel, saying that he would watch me over on Twitch. I do have a Twitch. I will actually link it down in the description below if you do want to check it out, guys. I will be streaming on Twitch at some point, but I have not figured out the details, but I just wanted to plug that real quick. Skyline says, has there ever been any Skylander you have sold or did something stupid with and regretted? Mine was selling Spyro, Trigger Happy, Crusher Eyebrow, and a Blue Tree Rex. Yes, kind of. So basically, here are the Skylanders that I've broken. I lit an Eruptor on fire, I froze a Gilgrunt solid and he stopped working, but now he actually works again. My dog partly ate a Smolder Dash, and beyond that I've actually taken really good care of my Skylanders. The only other one to break was Hex, Lightcore Hex, and she broke right out of the box. So honestly, I've never really done much that I really regret with a lot of my Skylanders. When I was 13, I sold a lot of these duplicates that I got to one of my friends in middle school, and beyond that I haven't really ever sold any of my Skylanders. Predaking Savage says, can Skylanders be output in a 4K resolution for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X? So while the Xbox Series X, and I definitely know the PlayStation 5, will be able to play your old Skylanders games that you had on the PS4, I do not think that they will be able to output in a true 4K resolution. I'm sure they'll be able to do the native upscaling that the PlayStation knows how to do, but in terms of actually really outputting in 4K, it definitely won't be able to do that. It would require a real update, and honestly, I don't really see Activision releasing an update for Skylanders, considering how old of a game it will be at this point. I mean, Imaginators will be 4 years old at this point. I don't really see them releasing an update to make it work in 4K, very sadly. The Komodo Warrior says, what are your thoughts on the idea of singular Skylander-based games, i.e. a Gilgrunt FPS, or a Kingpin hack and slash, or a Blastermind puzzle game? Gimme. This is literally what I want. Do you have any idea how much I would have paid to have gotten these things back in the heyday of Skylanders? I mean, now obviously I want a real Skylanders game, but like, this is what I wanted for spin-off games, not the crappy mobile games we got. I didn't want Battlecast. I didn't want, you know, anything we ever got. I would literally kill for like a trigger-happy, like, shooting gallery, something like that, or I don't know, I'm just looking at Skylanders and seeing what I can create. I don't know, Freeze Blade, ice skating? Seriously, all these sound like amazing little games, and I know they had little gimmicky games over on the Skylanders website, but they never really developed them in their fullest extent, and this is what Skylanders Spyro's Universe should have been from the get-go, the thing that was online, the little online game you could play back during Spyro's Adventure and I think Giants. This is what it should have been. It should have had more mini-games like that, and it's a crying shame that it never actually did that. Animation from Caitlin asks another Skylanders Academy related question. What is your opinion on Season 3 of Skylanders Academy? If your opinion is positive, what was your favorite part? And if it's negative, what would you fix? So I'll go ahead and actually answer both of those. My favorite part is probably the very, very end. I really like the final little climactic battle with all of the Skylanders, but here's the thing. The overall Season 3 does not make sense, and it pays no homage to previous seasons. Like, Season 2 actually has a real story to it, and it actually progresses the overall arc of the plot somewhere. And then you get to Season 3, and you kind of just forget about Season 2 in its entirety. You don't see a lot of fan-favorite characters like Cinder. Cinder is absent for the majority of Season 3, and it's really sad to me for her to just be gone. And while I think that Season 3 had some cool moments, like the little Fire Vipers region, you know, there's just a lot of stuff that I think they kind of forgot about from Season 2. And really, I think the main reason for this is because they switched showrunners in the middle of developing the season. But honestly, I'm not even sure if the original showrunner would have actually paid attention to this. But either way, that's what I would have changed, and maybe someday I'll expand on that in the future. Eon's Apprentice asks a good question. What do you think is better, a level 1 Skylander with every upgrade or a level 20 Skylander with no upgrades? I think that for very few Skylanders, this would not be the case, but I think almost always it would be a level 1 Skylander with all of the upgrades. I just think the upgrades provide such a power ramp, whereas just leveling up really only ever increased your health. Honestly, there are only like a couple Skylanders that maybe have the lamest upgrade paths that could really benefit from being level 20 and no upgrades as opposed to the other way around. But by and large, I think that a level 1 character max upgraded is going to win out every time. Amelia asks, how's the PS5? I really wouldn't know. I don't know when I'm going to get one. It's kind of sold out. I'm very sad. Oh well. Swerk6 says, who is your least favorite Skylander and why is it Sprocket? I would just like to say that Wrecking Ball would like to know your location, man. Like, come on. How can it be Sprocket? Sprocket's actually cool, unlike Wrecking Ball. JJ2 Sonic says, If you could change anything major about the Skylanders series, what would it be? If we're talking in terms of writing, I would have introduced another villain other than Chaos and not made Chaos the main villain. I loved what they did in Skylanders Superchargers, but considering that they kind of made him a secondary villain actually in Superchargers, I will ignore that and actually talk about something else. I mentioned this more in my Brief History of Toys to Life LEGO Dimensions video, but seriously, one of my biggest criticisms with the Skylanders franchise as time went on was the non-innovation of the actual gimmick Skylanders. If you look at the Swap Force and the Giants, they're so cool. The Giants light up. The Swap Force, you can take their tops and bottoms apart and switch them around. But the Trap Team, meh. The Superchargers, meh. The Imaginators are cool, but the Senseis, meh. They don't look cool, or they do look cool, but they're not interactive. They don't feel like a toy. They feel like a statue, and I feel like that especially was the case when you get to the Imaginators line of toys, and they all are literal statues on literal bases. They don't even look like toys. They look like things that you put on display, and that's probably why I put them all on display in their boxes instead of actually leaving them out on a shelf. IanDysonCo asked me a question I can't actually answer yet. It says, what is your favorite custom art from Discord? So this is something that I want to pay more attention to right now. I really have been I've been slacking, not paying too much attention to the custom section of the Discord. But coming soon, hopefully next year, we will be having monthly events over in the Discord. I've mentioned this a couple times now, but the goal is to have events in the Discord, and one of those will probably be a custom Skylander and an actual, like, custom art thing. So stay tuned. I will pay more attention to it in the future. Don't worry. But there's been a lot of amazing artwork and custom characters that have been showcased over in the Discord. So I really encourage you guys, if you're interested in that type of stuff, to go check that section out on the Discord if you're already there, and to go check the Discord out if you're not on the Discord. HarrisJBJ says, what would the new rumored game be called? Skylanders 7, it's about time. That totally does not rip off a Crash Bandicoot game that recently released or anything, not at all. So I got two questions in a row. The first one is from DSNuts, and the second one is from DSNuts. So, for DSNuts, all 32 Skylanders are great, but who is your least favorite of the 32? Oh, I have him right here from the earlier question! Wrecking Ball! How could it be anyone other than Wrecking Ball? How? Our other question from DSNuts says, how old are you? And I answered this in the comments, but I wanted to say something in the video because a lot of people have a hard time believing it. I am 20 years old. You heard that right. 20 years old. I'm not a teenager. I'm an adult. I'm a junior in college. Do I look like it? No. Do I look 18? Yes. Do I maybe look even 17? Yes. Is it understandable if you have a hard time believing I'm 20 years old? Yes. I was 13 when I started the channel. I was 11 when Skylanders came out. I'm 20. There you go. Our final question of this particular episode comes from my girlfriend, Haley. She asks, what is your favorite Halloween activity / tradition? This isn't a tradition I started until I actually got too old to go trick-or-treating, and it's actually something I haven't really been able to do the past couple of years because I have been away at college, but this is definitely what I'd say my favorite Halloween tradition is. I really like decorating the yard up with decorations. I like putting up thematic lights, the fake cobwebs, all that stuff, and then accepting trick-or-treaters. Because we live in a neighborhood, I actually get to accept trick-or-treaters, which I really love to do. It is so cool to see little kids in their costumes. I really, really do love the enjoyment that, you know, that gives. And also, I loved decorating the yard and stuff up because when the little kids would come by, they would actually be a little bit freaked out. Not a ton, but they would definitely be like, oh, that's cool, or like, and one year we have trees over to the side of our house. I actually went and stood in the trees, and I got a board of plywood, and I got a big stick, and I hit the plank, or I hit the piece of plywood with the stick as the kids walked by, so it sounded like there was something rustling over in the bushes. And I never did that to little kids, but I did it to maybe like 7, 8-year-old type. I really enjoyed doing that. It was really funny to do that. So that would probably be my favorite Halloween tradition, and that's definitely something I want to keep doing as I get older. And when I actually have access to adult money, you can bet that I'm going to be that neighbor in your neighborhood that buys a ton of Halloween stuff. Just saying. Alright folks, that is it for this month's episode of Ask Portalmaster. Thank you guys. We got a lot of comments down below. My goal is to take about 20 questions per week. That's kind of what I'm striving for. I may start opening up like a special patrons only question time or something like that. I don't know. We'll see. It depends on how many questions we keep getting per month. But right now, we're getting a good amount of content, and that's basically all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys again in December for the next month's edition of Ask Portalmaster. This is a monthly thing now, so definitely stay tuned for the next one in December. Thank you for watching so much. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, go follow me on all my social medias, although I'm sure if you're here at the end of the video, you've already done all of that. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Thanks again for watching. I just wanted to take some time to thank my generous patrons on Patreon, including APYT Skylanders, WOSA, Haley, True Blue Dogemon, Rasgajag, Adrian, and AngryTedC.